Welcome to Birth of Rome, the new HUD game based on the Alea Jacta Est series. Birth of Rome has 6 scenarios that focus on the struggle of Rome as an early republic against many of the famous and not so famous historical wars. Of course, the Punic Wars will be an option, but in today's video I'm actually going to show you the third Samnite War, or better yet, I'm going to kind of introduce you to the game and show you using the third Samnite War to show you yeah, what Birth of Rome looks like. So as you enter, so the first screen that pops up is basically talks a little bit about the war and what you should do. So you can really obviously read that later on, but here is the map. So a very beautiful map, and you can first kind of see the mountains going through the center of the peninsula here, and you see different pictures. So those are the different forces. These are the enemy forces here, and we have a little bit of information on them, not a lot of information. As you're going down too, you'll see that kind of like there's a different a darker shade of color, and that's because this area, for instance, cannot be entered in this scenario. In other words, this area here is not really relevant to the third Samnite War, so there's no reason for you to go there. Of course, the map is basically Europe and what would eventually become the Roman Empire region of influence. But for this scenario in Birth of Rome, of course, it's going to focus here on the Italian peninsula, and that's because the Samnites were really focused mainly here in central Italy. One of the great things about the game is you can have different overlays, so you can, using colors, see who's in control of where. So red, Roman, and just kind of like light green. The red would be the Samnites. Actually, down here, this is the Greeks controlled this area, or you say greater Greece. Yeah, let's take a look at Rome and our forces in Rome. We do have a couple different armies here. So we have a leader and then 2 legions, Legion 3, Legion 4, and some supply wagons. We also have Legion 1, Legion 2, and some supply wagons, and a second leader. And then we have a legion and a legion in reserve here. So also you can find out a little bit of information about Rome and what its situation is. So it's a size 10 city, so like a bigger number, like bigger cities you can guess. And for instance, it also it's a size 3 fort, so it has a decent size fort and a certain level of supply. And this kind of information is important as you'll be strategizing on what towns to take or what cities to take and what's important to hold. Alright, let's move into armies. So I'm going to drag this force. I'm just going to drop it on top of an enemy army here, and basically our army will then go down toward this army and attempt to engage them. Birth of Rome, as the other HUD games, of course, are turn-based games, so I'm going to click on this button here, proceed to next turn, and then the turn in process is my orders, as well as the AI orders. Okay. So we have a battle and stalemate, and now the battle screen pops up, and there's a couple options here. One thing is you can kind of see what kind of forces you have here. Legatus, legions, principes, of course, Hastati, and Tirari. So this is before the Marian reform, so it's using the old Republic style of fighting, or you could say method. And of course the enemy's forces are here, like here's some Samnite infantry, for instance. And there are different stats you can see which represent different abilities and power. And then when the turn is over, then you have you basically have kind of a message box down here that tells you what happens. So for instance, we had a garrison that's mustered on day 20, which I think it's like because they became besieged, for instance. Yeah, so hopefully that yeah, that gives you a little bit of a taste of the game. So again, kind of like to quickly recap, you have a beautiful map here. You have an army as well as towns, and you can focus your army onto another, or just move them into a different region. It's a turn-based game, so then you click on the turn, and both sides are processed. And I also will mention that in addition to the AI, you have the option to play other people through playing through email. So yeah, this is Birth of Rome by AGUD. Yeah, so this is Birth of Rome by AGUD, and I'll see you next time.